It's gonna be one of those nights. Counting on the fact that you're not audible at this point. Cool. Right, I have done some things between last stream and this stream. Number one, I've emptied the ripsaw. This I figured was most important task, as it's all manual. So the ripsaw now doesn't have 70k of ice in it. That is now in our base, getting turned into hydrogens. And if we come and look down into the big hole in the ground, you will see that there are, well, you can only see one of them, but there are two giant tanks that weren't there. Over here, woo, other way. There's a nice big window over here. Yeah, if you look down, there's a big grey bubble that wasn't there. And it has a friend directly below it. Those are big old hydrogen tanks that we're currently filling. How... Oh, wonderful. Unfortunately, they are currently at 7%. Hello, Dovakin! We're always ready for trouble, though usually we're causing it. We've jumped down the hole several times. Evening, Kyle. Now, can you let me know if you can hear Tom at any point? Because we've had some major Xbox Live issues tonight, and Twitch isn't asking Tom to include his audio. So, we're not sure if you guys can hear him or not. I mean, there is that option. There is that option. Hello, Black Veil Rose. Thank you very much for the follow. That was a nice way of starting a stream. That's where Black Veil came from then. I was about to ask. But if you happen to know Tom, I mean, that may be for your blessing that you can't hear Tom for a stream. But yeah, we are having some serious technical issues with Twitch over the last couple of streams. In terms of... Yeah, they cannot hear you. Yes. Yeah. Tom is actually really happy with the fact you lot can't hear him, because it means that he doesn't have to behave quite as well on stream as he normally does. Unfortunately for me, I still have to hear Tom, though I can just mute him, I suppose, because I'm in charge of the chat. But anyway, right, the plan for this evening, people. We have been desperately trying to get Tom into space. We have a nice big welder over here, and the plan is to stick a dirty great big rocket on top of it and then launch it. What we need though is ice, because this is a hydrogen powered rocket, and the amount of hydrogen we've got at the base at the minute is going to get us about a third of the way there if we're lucky, and nowhere back. So, we are going to have to do quite a bit of ice mining today. Now, Tom, I was wondering if you wanted to just keep running the dune buggy and your little miner and doing ice runs while I faff about with trying to get the rocket built? Or do you want us both to deal with mining duties? Yeah, Tom. Yeah, okay. We'll both go over then, Tom, seeing as you do have a slightly crash-happy track record with our mining vehicles at the moment. Yeah, we will try kicking you out of the chat and rejoining it. Let's see what happens. And it is a goodbye to the Tom. There he goes. And let's invite him to the chat. Looks like we are having some fun Xbox Live issues. Because that was adding a Tom and removing a Tom. Excellent. Oh, he's back. I'm guessing he didn't get sorted out properly though. You're back. Are you... Still hasn't given you the option? Okay, we'll just have to go with it tonight because we've tried restarting the stream. We've tried restarting your audio. Last time we had this problem we had to reinstall Twitch and I'm not doing that mid-stream. So... right then. We'll both head out and do some ice mining then so that if one or the other of us gets stuck in a hole, the other one's nearby to help. And more importantly, the camera's nearby for other people to hear. Cool. You taking the dune buggy? That really was. We were only after that one because it was really close to magnesium. So... absolutely. We definitely need more ice than magnesium, so... I've got ice deposits at 2.89 and 3.4 directly ahead of us. Or 3.3 directly behind you, which I know we haven't gone to. Oh, hello, Carcer. Yeah, there's one 3.3 to your 5 o'clock. That I don't think... we can do. I don't think we've been to it, so I have no idea if it's another skinny one or not. I just realised... oh, we'll be fine. Take off recharge, let's go. How it's going, Carcer, is we have still got some technical gremlins. You want to go a bit more to your right, Tom. Cool. We still have technical gremlins, Carcer. Tom is not audible on chat because Twitch won't let me add him, despite restarting chat, the stream and all sorts, so you've got a one person on one half of a conversation tonight. I apologise if that is irritating for people. But Tom is loving it because he can say anything he damn well likes. So... you have probably gone the more sensible way for your vehicle, Tom. It's a bit craggy round here. Let's see if the old ripsaw can do its usual trick. Yep. Can the ripsaw do its usual trick of climb up the cliff? Nope, we finally found a cliff that even the ripsaw can't just drive straight up. Have to go at an angle. What is this for? We are off ice mining, Carcer, because Tom wants to build a hydrogen rocket and get launched into space. And to do that we need ice. Wow, I think I've actually managed to high centre the ripsaw. Oh, I know what that means. I hadn't got the ripsaw suspension cranked all the way up. That would be why it bottomed out on the cliff. Hmm? Well, this wasn't much better. I've just had to scramble up a sheer cliff. No, I'm not stuck, Carcer. I just didn't have the suspension cranked all the way up. I only had half my ground clearance. Tom's over there. It takes a lot to get this vehicle stuck. Normally it's got enough raw horsepower to just climb over everything. It's kind of what it does. Are you having problems, Tom? Wow! Yeah, I just saw you doing a handstand. That's fairly impressive. Ah, and launched you into the air. Well, I've got some bad news for you. I've got sight on the Oasis. It looks really small. Yeah. It could be. I hope it is, because it's really going to need to be. It's the Ripsaw is longer than it is. I know it's a mighty beast, but even so. Park in such a way as to not block your route of approach. Well, I can see you arriving, so. No, we have managed to find something that I can traverse. I just need to remember to turn my suspension up because I have to crank it down when I dock. Yes, you do appear to be leaving a little bit of a smoky trail behind you. What happened? I hope that's just the connector. It is. Oh no, it's the connector and your rear cargo container. So we'll have to fix that. Have you got the handbrake on? Oh dear. Are you sure you've got the handbrake on? I've worked out what the problem is, Tom. Your batteries on the dune buggy are still on recharge, so you were doing that entire journey on solar. That would also be why you suddenly sped up, because that probably means that all of your solar panels connected at one point. That would be why you would have suddenly sped up, because it meant you actually got power to your engines. Right, I'm manufacturing the parts to fix your cargo container. That from earlier. Yeah, that's from earlier. Should be. Yeah, for those in chat wondering, Carcrow is my friend Kyle, who I know IRL, and you may hear on a future stream. There are plans. There are much plans. Turn your damn... Oh, your batteries are on recharge. You are currently balanced very finely. Find a button on your hotbar that says recharge. Oh, God. Hey, there he goes. This is what we get for trying to put all of our vehicles on charge so that everything's ready to go. Oh dear, right. Yes, Carcrow is also someone that I've been helping with SE, and he does play on the server. So Carcrow, you may also meet Carcer at some point if you happen to be on the server at the same time, when that happens in November. Right. I need to fill some hydrogen bottles up. How good's the ice deposit down there looking, Tom? Okay. Right, okie doke. actual age you was scraping some of the rock off the top. Right. So I didn't get a chance to ask earlier, Castle, how is the haunted house going? As I haven't got a Tom that I can have an intelligible conversation with you guys involved, I just have to talk to chat. Because you're only going to hear my half of a conversation, and that's going to get confusing. So... yeah, Castle, how goes the Minecraft haunted house? It was looking pretty good the little bit I saw of it earlier. It's not looking like another great ice deposit, is it? I mean, it's more ice, so that's always a good thing. Put your nose down, you're better off flatter. You've got more downward thrust than anything else, so try and drop your nose a little bit and then forwards rather than up. And if you get really desperate, turn on your hydrogen engines. I mean, it is just an on-off button on your control panel, but okay. Yes, Carcrow, you probably could guess the conversation from Tom's side fairly accurately, considering how well you know him. Yeah, it's not happy. I'm having to be careful on my end as well. So it's not, you know, your inexperience with these. Careful, careful. Ah, cool. Glad you got the layout sorted out, Castle. That is always the trick when it comes to laying out a map. Get the layout down first. What is your problem? Oh, that's a problem. Going sideways and nothing else. Let's have a looky look. Have you busted something? Yes, you've donked your engines again. That would be why you were having problems. You have donked your two massive rear thrusters again. I think you may have smushed them into a roof again. Fortunately for you, I have parts for those. So hold still if you can. 1, 2. You have rearward thrust, or you have lift thrust again. Just checking to make sure you haven't lost... oh, and you've lost an entire thruster. One of the little ones. But we'll fix that once you're docked. You should have a bit more lift now. Directly below your cockpit, pretty much. Yeah, literally directly below your cockpit. Your connector. Oh, that's it. Dampeners off, dampeners off. Did you just see what you did then? Yes, this is why the dampeners are always off when you're docked to another rover. Unless it's locked to the floor, it will try and take off. I know it's a pain, but now you can see why. It won't make any difference. it will still try and lift off. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I'm gonna empty mine now that we've got yours back flying again. Yeah, last time, by the way, Tom, we brought back about 200k ice between the two vehicles. Yep. That one run, I've already grabbed 136. I'm just gonna stand here and watch, I think, for a second. Is the dune buggy not enjoying though this terrain at the minute? Cool. Right. Sit in either cockpit, it doesn't matter which. Which one are you in? Dune buggy? Cool, so the way I would normally do it is if you use the left click menu to change the left hand side of your inventory screen, and you'll want to set that on just your vehicle, so the little rocket ship symbol, you just keep left thumb clicking till that's selected, and then I would just search for cargo in the top bar if you can. Okay, spelling with Tom is what I've got in my left ear, everyone. Then if you... Oh, that possibly means it's broken. Possibly. Let me have a look. Yep, you broke-did it. In fact, you broke-did all three of them a little bit, and I'd only fixed one of them. No, I don't think we've got the parts to fix that one. That's a problem. Yeah, because it needs metal grids. Oh, all components were successfully withdrawn. Well, you got lucky, Tom. I must have had a teensy tiny bit of cobalt left in the ripsaw. Okay, let me check for more broken. Okay, that's strange. What's going on here? Okay. Right. Okie dokie then. Has it now started? Cool. Awesome. Tom's driving's fine, Dovahkiin. Oh yes, for those that aren't aware, if you, as Carsa is talking about her stream, and I have no problem with Carsa talking about her streams, but if you want to go and find a Carsa, that's her Discord. You can go and find her on there. Are you having fun over there? Did you empty it completely? Awesome. Sweet! Really isn't. Hey, Kyle, me and you are going to have words, because you have also broken my mad engineering on several occasions on the server. So be careful there, sir. Be careful. He's saying my mad engineering isn't Tom-proof. Tom generally isn't Tom-proof. Yes, Tom, you are a founding member of Team Headbutt. I will not let this be forgotten. Have fun, Carsa. Try not to murder too many of your player characters in your roleplay. I mean, if your NPCs are anything like mine usually are, you'll struggle to anyway, so they'll be fine. So the trick with these miners apparently is don't damage the upward thrust. Oh yeah, this is a really thin ice seam. I'm just to your right if you can't see at the minute. I shall get out of your way actually, because I think I'm blocking your exit route. You want me to get that roof off of your head, Tom? It's easily done. I'm just going to left click mine the roof away above you. There you go, Tom. Have a way out. Yeah, and a little bit of stone is fine because that tops up the ripsaw and the dune buggy just in case we have to do field repairs. Yeah, that's true, Carl. My mad engineering you does tend to break mainly due to server lag. That is a very good point. Well, I'm taking that as a good sign. I've already filled up one of the Ripsaw's cargo containers. And nearly filled the second one. So, Ripsaw's nearly full, Tom. Yep. But Ripsaw only has 2 small cargo containers, so I'm going to end up starting to fill yours up, I think. Apparently I've bumped the Ripsaw's nose at some point. I'd be going up that hill earlier with the suspension down. Right, let's get back in the air. Yeah, always leave a little bit in your O2HT. Just scrape away some of this topsoil. Only getting in the way. It really is, isn't it? I think we are going to have to find another one. Yeah. Yeah, Dogkin, that happens, making new marks of vehicles. I mean, this mining vehicle that me and Tom are using is the Mark IV version of it. And my orbital heavy lifter has now got a Mark IV as well. The Ripsaw is onto Mark II. So yeah, it happens, it's fine. Vehicles need to evolve as you come up with new ideas for them. Oh, that'd be why I'm having a problem. I am leaning over significantly. Yeah, what's your artificial horizon is what I've just learnt there. Yep. I mainly don't use third-person view on streams because it's not the best view when you're on stream. Because, I mean, if I go to third-person view now, all you see is spinny drills. So, but yeah, I'll stick with third-person outside camera for now. That's about as much weight as I want to try and pull with this thing. That's the other thing is what's your maximum grid weight, because anything above about 270,000 kilograms it gets really unhappy, I've noticed. How it's flying. I'll actually go and physically look at it. Cool. Okay, Ripsaw is officially full. Which means I'm going to have to start unloading on yours as well. Want to roll your left hand down a tiny bit. Tell me you're slightly. There you go. Now you're level with it. And scoot over to your left. There you go. I have no idea on Blender, I'm afraid, Dubberkin. That is out of my area of expertise. Oh, I got those buttons out of sequence. What you saw there, chat, was me attempting to dock and then turn my dampeners off as quickly as possible so I didn't cause Tom any problems as we're trying to connect to the same vehicle. What I should have done is that and just waited for Tom to disconnect. Fortunately, my landing gear seems to have taken it all. Ah! Well, if you have had food thrown at you, then it would be rude not to consume it. Blimey, we are nowhere near filling up the cargo on this. Let's do a... yeah, there really isn't. In fact, while you're eating, I may go and see if there's another ice hole nearby. It's not looking like it. Moment. And yes, I have literally just periscoped my mining ship up to altitude, and I'm having a look around the horizon. The Ripsaw has. In fact, both the large grids have. I'm just seeing if I can't spot the telltale signs of an oasis. Okay, what have I reminded you? Okay, you've just started watching the Orville. I've not seen it myself, and I know it is a very, very close homage, stroke Mickey take of Star Trek. Cool. Okay, I have a possible ice deposit. I'm going to investigate. Okay, Orville is definitely sounding interesting. Oh, it's another tiny one. These do have detectors on them, right? Yeah, they do. Almost certainly going to be that way. Oh, and apparently I've damaged one of my thrusters. That would explain a lot. Yeah, I have found another ice deposit by the looks of it. Yep, ice about 20 metres down. So I am going to land my miner over here. So I've got something to aim for with the ripsaw. Because we're only about 2k away. As I was smart enough to bring a hydrogen bottle with me, easy flying distance. Okay. Kyle is seconding your recommendation of Orville. Okay, we are definitely going to have to be careful crossing this terrain with your vehicle. It's a little bit on the bumpy side. I'm not going to lie. We probably want to go out that exit to your left and try and work our way round. Yeah. I mean, I've got no worries about the ripsaw. I've got a lot of worries about your cargo hauler. Yeah. So we will need your vehicle loaded back up once you're finished stuffing your face, and then we will have to head out. And while Tom's eating, I will take a quick hydrate. Okay, if you only got introduced to it last weekend, Kyle, and you're now on the second season, I will definitely take that as a strong recommendation. So, okay, that's two very strong recommendations then. Excellent. I think we best, because there's not much left here really. Did I still... Right. Oh hey, and because of where the ripsaw's parked, I've got a perfect view from the nose camera of your docking manoeuvre. Yeah, it's all practice, Tom. It's all practice. As I keep telling you, this game is like 90% practice. Cool, I will definitely give it a look, Kyle. I will definitely take that recommendation. Over to your left a bit. You're not quite lined up. There you go, now you're lined up. You need to back up and go out that gap in the cliff to your left. Look, that vehicle was thrown together originally in about 4 minutes, and the cargo section was added to it in equally amounts of rush. I'm amazed that thing actually functions. Out that gap to your left. Let me give you a bit more room to work with. And then can you see the 601st antenna 2 kilometres away? That's where we're heading to. That antenna off to the right. Really careful that I don't suddenly whack the accelerator on Ripsaw. If I did that right now, it would be very much mission over. I'll go path find. Try to. I'm not actually convinced we're going to get over there with yours. This is some seriously broken up terrain. Yeah. Yeah, there are some other ores out here that we haven't found yet. Bits that I know I can scramble up. You were right last stream, we really need a cargo version of the Ripsaw. Oh, get close around this side. Stopping for a second. You found ice? Then mine away, sir. I will retrieve my miner because, yeah, the terrain around here is horrible. What, the ice you found? Oh lord. Yeah, having just flown up on a jetpack, we are not getting up here with your vehicle. Where I left the miner. It's pretty much sheer cliff faces the whole way. Okay, I am in the miner at the moment. Rather than in the Ripsaw. Once we get up that first ridge line, it's relatively clear running. You reckon you found a way up? Okay. Yeah, it's the width of the wheelbase as well as the length of it that's going to be your main challenges. Nah. Though there is another ice deposit right where you are. You might as well grab that while I go and retrieve my miner. None of them are. And that is what's meant to happen when the ripsaw goes up the cliff stream. That's what it does when I haven't got the suspension rocked right the way down. Just pops up and keeps driving. Let's go pick up this miner. I've noticed it's got some damaged thrusters, that's why I didn't fly it back. Yeah, once you get up here, it's fine. What, the one you've just found? That's got some promise then, if it's 40 metres deep. Yeah, you get cracking, I'll come join you. Yeah. So that should be a reasonably good ice deposit then, if you've got it just below the surface and it's also 40 metres deep. Yeah, go for it, Tom. Good find. I'm going to very quickly do some running repairs to my miner. Yeah, that's the hydrogen engine. Right. I am heading your way, good sir. What's that? What doesn't make sense? Is it two separate ice deposits? A shallow one and a deep one? Oh, wonderful. So left click drill to destroy your way down to the second one? Cool. This is a bad idea. Ah, tree! Tree, 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 tree! That could have gone a lot better. Space engineers, why with your indestructible trees? Why? Tom, you know that thing that I said if it ever happened, we're going to have an absolute nightmare dealing with it? Of the ripsaw being upside down. Well, I hit a tree, which instead of, you know, the tree getting demolished by the nearly 1,000-ton vehicle that hit it at several hundred meters a second, what actually happened is my vehicle did a nice barrel roll and landed in a gully. I'll let you know in a second. Trick is going to be getting it free without destroying the miner that is, by the way, still somehow intact underneath it on the top connector. In fact, I may try and get that miner clear. Actually, no, I won't try and get that miner clear, because I've... Have you just had a problem with yours as well? Or don't I want to know the answer to that question? What, you're running out of power? Yeah, the O2H2 gen doesn't work as fast as a hydrogen engine. Okay, fair enough. Yep. Well, Stream, I don't think the miner underneath is intact anymore. This is the drawback of getting the ripsaw stuck. It doesn't unstick very easily. Yeah, actually, there's surprisingly more of that intact than I was expecting. Right. Careful there, Tom. Careful. Right then, Stream, let's play the fun game of how to very cheatily unstick a vehicle. And it involves a lot of steel plate. Right, which way do we want this to go over? Ideally we want it to go sideways. Pointless ice deposit, wonderful. Okay. Yep. Ah. Well, that's no fun. Right. What I'm doing here, for the benefit of anyone that hasn't done this in Space Engineers before, is there's a little quirk with Space Engineers where a block has its full weight even when it isn't welded up and full of components. So these batteries, which only require one steel plate to place, weigh as much as a full welded battery. So all I'm doing here is shifting Ripsaw's centre of gravity dramatically to one side. And as you can probably guess, what's going to happen is, as I'm massively shifting the centre of gravity, it's going to naturally pivot over. The trick is building your counterweight in such a way that you can actually get the dang thing to flip. Which is not always easy. Especially when you've got a vehicle that's as stable as the Ripsaw normally is. As you can see, we're getting there. Are you talking about the bit I found earlier? Ah, fair enough. Yep. Now we know they're all going to be tiny. Yeah, this method is a distant cousin of the one more piston method called one more battery. Ah, that would be a lot of gone batteries, because apparently I missed with one of them. Whoopsie! This is why you do it with batteries, because they're only one steel plate. I do now have a lot of scrap metal to pick up. Any more scrap metal I need to pick up? Yep, there we go. Oh wow, did that properly. Right. Dump that in there. Poor little miner squished underneath a heartless ripsaw. Right. And let's try this again. Oh, apparently I'm out of steel plate. That would also explain a lot. Produce me 100 steel plate. Do do do. So chat, the question is, do you think I'm actually going to get the ripsaw out of this hole in the ground? Thanks for the vote of confidence, Tom. For the benefit of those that can't hear Tom lying through his teeth, Tom is very sarcastically suggesting that he feels I can do this. Right, and I think part of our problem is right down here. Clear some of that out the way. Yeah, there we go. Now we've got a bit more angle on it. Now we've got a bit more angle. I'm going to have to really keep an eye on my hydrogen supplies doing all of this madness. Right. Tom, why is it we can never have a mining expedition with us two that doesn't involve at least one vehicle ending up upside down and or broken? I'm not calling this fun. Oh, I'm calling this aggravating. Yeah, I'm sure the viewers are finding this hilarious. Then I would suggest it's time for you to start heading back to base. That would be my suggestion. Just get a couple of chocks underneath this. So that we don't lose our progress if it all goes wrong again. I am not confident in my ability to actually get this vehicle out if I have to. And that's the little miner I'm referring to there, not the ripsaw.
Inventory full.
Do you do a silly, Tom? Yep, it probably will. Okay, I now only have one vehicle upside down. The mining vehicle is free. I mean, you can. I'm not sure what we can do at this stage. No. That's the problem with the Ripsaw. Once you get it completely turned turtle, its gyro isn't quite enough to flip it over. In fact, I am not going to leave that little miner on the floor directly behind the Ripsaw that I'm about to mess about with. Let's get it up on the cliff where it's safe. It's a possibility. But, that was weird. My controls just went completely squiffy. Right, let's... There is a good chance I can get this out now I'm less concerned about breaking a mining vehicle in the process. Because the one more battery method is working. Oh, of course. I'm being a silly. And he wants steel plate. There we go. Right. Right, so Tom is now lost in the desert, and I've got an upside down... Yeah, we have got... Thanks, I'm glad it's very entertaining for you, Kyle. I'm so glad. I hope you're at least learning a new way... Oh, Lord, where's that one going? Oh, good, it's just exploding down there. I hope you're all learning a new way of turning your flipped-over vehicles the right way up in Space Engineers. Right, for the benefit of chat who can't hear Tom, all I can hear is, I'm sure you can fit, I bet you came through there earlier. It is not reassuring sounds. Also, yes, there is a very real risk that doing this I get myself pancaked by the counterweight. I am waiting for that to happen. If I do, I fully hope that someone actually clips it. I managed to squash myself with a blooming great counterweight of back. I've also just noticed that my H2 is running low. So let's do something about that while we're here. Yeah, it's a great abuse of the physics engine, isn't it, Kyle? Why are you struggling? Because you're about 4 times heavier. Oh, I heard the engineer take a little bit of damage that time. Me. I heard the oof you get when you actually impact on something. Really, Tom, you get that quite a lot. Why am I not surprised? This is just to catch it in case it starts rolling. Okay, Tommy's officially lost in the desert somewhere. You keep telling... All I keep hearing in my ear, Tom, is... I think I'm going the right way. And variations on that theme. Of course... Fair enough. If you need underground tunnels to work, fair enough. Well, I'm glad I could teach you something, Kyle. This is something I've not had to teach you on any of our previous sections of Space Engineers together, so... Because, strangely enough, I don't deliberately get my vehicles that are almost impossible to flip upside down on purpose. Though, if you want to thank the person that I learnt this from, go and look up an Australian YouTuber called Splitsy. I got this little trick from him. He was also the main proponent of the hashtag one more piston method. Which, whilst effective, isn't quite as resource friendly as this is. Oh yeah, I need to be doing this from this end. We now need to start moving the counterweight up to this counterweight. Right. And we shift the centre of gravity again. Of course, this would be significantly easier if that rover down there wasn't absolutely full to its capacity. Yeah, you also don't spend much time planetside on a planet that's at 1.2 G. That is the other thing that we've got to keep in mind here, is this planet is at 1.2 G. Which is making this all the more interesting. We'll go with interesting. And I am getting very close to getting squished at this point. Right, let's go stick some more chocks down here. The other reason we chock it down here is so we can actually see that we're making progress. Look at that. Almost over. I mean, I'm not sure how I'm getting out of this hole that I've magically ended up in after I've got it over, but we'll deal with one problem at a time. Are you back home, Tom? Oh, hey! Tom has successfully made it home, everyone! Yay! Oh dear. I'll let you sort your greens and yellows out. And I'll go back to adding one more battery. The Ripsaw is roughly at 45 degrees now. Ah, that was nearly a mistake. may have nearly chopped my counterweight off of the spar that attaches it to the ripsaw. That would have been a real pain. Honestly, even if you came over here, about all you'd come over here and do is laugh at how thoroughly upside down ripsaw managed to get. It was completely flat on its back. If it hadn't had the miner on the roof, I reckon I could have switched the suspension completely the other way and just driven it. Yeah, that's because I only broadcast a certain distance. Hold on, let me crank up the broadcast range on this for a second. You found me. I was going to say, what is the antenna on ripsaw at the minute? Oh, I'm never going to find it there. There's about 400 incomplete batteries. Oh yeah, I've got a 5 kilometre beacon going at the minute, so let's crank that up to 20-ish. Do it, Tom. Kyle is now egging you on to come over and have a laugh. Okay, Tom's reaction would not have been appropriate for stream. It's called a counterweight, Tom. And what it does is it moves the centre of gravity off to one side. Like so. And then you just keep plonking armour blocks down behind it so that it doesn't fall backwards. Yes, Tom has arrived, everyone, and his reaction was about as appropriate as I assumed it would be. Either that or you'll... Oh no, there you are, you're down there. I wasn't sure if you just turned the stream on your phone. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, fair. Yeah, so what you do, Tom, is you just keep adding... And that is, I'm going to... Yes. Well, this bit needs to go, actually. And then it's just a case of trimming a few blocks down and trying not to get hit with them as it goes. But as you can see, it is actually a relatively effective method of flipping a vehicle. Yeah, I know it's not the fastest or the flashiest. And every so often you do have to switch to a new counterweight. Which is what I'm doing right now. Because the one you've got gets too close to the ground. Oh dear. Yeah, it's fine. It's one steel plate. Right, that one can move out of the way. Oh yeah, be careful, I'm going mad with a circular saw around here. Yeah, yeah, it gradually starts going, and then all of a sudden, you hit that tipping point. It just gently tips over. Oh, sorry, it's educational and funny. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks a bunch. That sums up my life. I have no idea, because I'm trying to flip a vehicle over. What happened to you? Oh, that's random. Okay, so Tom is now dying randomly, everyone. Just to complete the evening's entertainment for you. What else has happened? Oh, why can't you respawn? Okay. Okay. We are having a slight Tom technical issue of he can't respawn, so I've got to re-invite him. Invite has been sent. But the Ripsaw is now officially on its side.
Fuel low.
Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. Oh no.
Fuel critical.
Oh, poop. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we now have what is commonly referred to as a problem. Or is it? Yep, this is a problem, because I can't aim for toffee when jumping. Tom, I may have run out of hydrogen. Yeah, I don't know where your body is. Oh, I'm dead anyway, it's all fine. Because I'm just going to try and respawn on Ripsaw. Where is the Ripsaw? There it is. Hey look! We respawned literally on the Ripsaw. So, let's grab some of those spare hydrogen bottles and go and get my body back. Oh, of course, it spawns you without inertial dampeners on. I'd forgotten about that. Thanks, space engineers. Where did my body go? 23 metres up there. Roger that. Get all my stuffs back. Because what I was trying to do, stream, is just walk along here so that I could just, you know, calmly chuck my empty bottles in here. No. That one. And then all would have been fine, but no. That's not allowed. Apparently. You're back, Tom. Welcome back. Did you get your stuff? Good. I'm going to get my health back. Yeah, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. Right. Yeah, 40 meters a second into a stationary vehicle probably would have been fatal. Speaking of things that are probably going to end up being fatal. And yes, I am very aware of how much I am dicing with this thing every time. I mean, we're probably at the point now I could cut this off and it would tip over, but I just want to make sure. Because I would hate to have to go through all of this all over again. And as much fun as it is for people to watch me do it once, I don't think you want to watch me do it a second time. Solar panels are at the front. Yeah, I've just spotted that. Let's God, can I get any third-person camera on this thing? Yes, I can. Right. Tom, would you mind cutting off the massive stack of batteries from the bottom of the ripsaw? Thanks. Now I've got to try and do this without killing Tom. There we go. It's flat enough that it's not going to tip back over. That's what I was aiming for. And see? The one more battery method does work. Hey Tom. Oh, of course, we've got unsupported structures turned on, apparently. There it goes. Just needed a voxel update before it realised that it wasn't capable of flight. Yeah, it'll remember that it can't fly in a second. There it goes. And there was no evidence at all. Right, how far out are we from base, Tom? Okay, do you want to jump up to the top of the cliff and grab the miner and fly it back? And I'll, well, I've got to extract ripsaw from this hole in the ground. And I'd kind of rather do that without a mining vehicle on its roof. Fair enough. I thought I'd give you some flight time as I know how much you actually like flying. Fair enough. I mean, you can still fly back once I've got ripsaw out. And yes, this is what the ripsaw does. It just goes until it hits a tree. Apparently trees are my nemesis. I love the fact the handbrake is good enough to hold it with half the vehicle off the floor. Right, where's home? That way, cool. It should be quite light because it's got absolutely nothing left in it. You're lost, aren't you, Tom? Fair enough. Oh no, a tree! A tree! Kill it. Yeah, if you hit the tree with a tyre, nothing happens. If you hit the tree with a block, you've had it. Cobalt. Hmm? Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens when you land a ripsaw on top of it. Yeah, yeah, it's... I mean, it was missing 2 engines at one point, because I tore one off and flipped it upside down to get it out from underneath the ripsaw. But yay, we made it, stream, we got the vehicle out. Now, can I get it the 3 kilometres back to base before I somehow flip it upside down again? Oh good, I wasn't crazy enough to put the speed increase on the hotbar of the Mark 1 like I have the Mark 2. That's how confident I got with the Mark 2, Tom. I've actually got rid of or I've moved the change top speed setting onto the hotbar so I can adjust it mid-drive. The connector on the top. You are not going to manage them in motion docking, Tom. Not with the way this bounces. And I'm absolutely not weaving this thing around like a lunatic on purpose as well, knowing that you're trying to dock to me whilst I'm moving at 50 metres a second. I mean... True. Go on then. No, it's actually easier if you do your batteries on recharge and everything before I connect to the base. Otherwise you will end up altering the setting on the other miner, potentially. You do realise you have a downward pointing camera on that thing, right? It's on the other menu then. It's to the right hand side middle of the connector. I mean, I told you last week, but last week was also a bit chaotic. With, you know, rovers exploding and flipping and getting stuck underground again. Yeah. I also didn't want to remind you whilst you were trying to do a mid-air refuelling manoeuvre with this thing. Why do you think I didn't tell you? You want to nose up. There you go. You docked. Cool. This is going to get interesting. And now the problem of the ripsaw. It's great for big sweeping turns. It's not so fantastic for precision docking manoeuvres. Yeah, I believe it's the spotlight you're standing on. Nice. I apologise for everyone watching. This camera angle is just as horrible for me as it is for you. Are we yellow? Ah, that would be a problem. Connector is connected. Unfortunately, we do have to manually unload the ripsaw. No, as in literally you can't do it through the conveyor system. No, because the conveyor tube on this is just for power. Though, interestingly, apparently Ripsaw doesn't have any ice in it. No, because the hydrogen engines are off. And its tanks were full. We've been gypped, Tom. We've been gypped. No, there it is. No, the system's just going mad. There is 188k of ice in Ripsaw. Yeah, we've still got a decent chunk of ice out of that. Just into any of the base's cargo systems. Oh yeah, and I will need to replace that engine before we take to the skies. Because there is no way that this vehicle is flying with one engine missing with a full load. But yeah, look at us guys, professional space engineers. We managed to get both vehicles, in fact all 4 vehicles, back to base, intact, absolutely no damage at all, no evidence of any problems whatsoever. Oh wow, you do not want to fly this thing at full weight. It is not happy. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I built before stream started. We now actually have a dock for the little miners on the base. Yeah. Yeah, up here. Just one of them. I didn't get round to building the second one. Yeah, I only had a chance to get one up and running. It's not a useless piece of junk at the moment. It's a nice extension to our refinery and processing systems. It's quite a useful extension at the minute with the amount of O2 H2s on it. Hmm? No, but it's really helping. Okay, maybe it's not helping because it's not actually connected. But it would be helping with the hydrogen problem. You need to drop the suspension ever so slightly and just roll it back ever so slightly. Tiny bit more. That's it, you're locked. And now it's generating a whole bunch more hydrogen for us. So now it's useful. Because that's another 6 O2H2 generators running, which is not a small amount. So yeah, that's a good addition there. Now what I'm concerned about is what's our base batteries looking like. Fully depleted in 2 hours. I think we might need some more wind turbines. I believe we may have said that last week, that we really need some more wind turbines. Not an extension, no. The base? Yeah. No. Oh, where did we put that? No, I meant the extra wind turbine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, ran out of steel plate. I don't know. Let's turn the projector on and see what happens. Projector on. We have an extension to the solar thingy on it? Doesn't look like we did. Yeah, that's because I misplaced the one that I welded up. It's actually fine. I'd forgotten which block that I'd added it to. So yeah, it looks like we didn't actually get round to projecting out extra extra bits for that. So we'll turn that projector off before it lags you out of the game again. Alright, so just as I'm building one, I might as well mention it. Several times I've suggested to people blender towers for sorting out your base's power problems. What we have here is a blender tower. Because it looks like if you fell into it in real life, you would get well and truly blended. Going up. Right. Hello. Right. Oh, no. Didn't quite build my blender properly. You then need 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, welding these up is slightly optional, the bits that stick out. I only do it because it looks better when it's not catwalk and wireframe. There we go. Yeah, it is good fun just base jumping your way down to the bottom of that wind turbine. Alright, there we go. There's another set of turbines up. The mighty tower of blend. No idea why I've coloured the top half of it in desert camo, because it really isn't going to hide up there. Right then, Tom. We've got 15 minutes left. That was exactly what I was about to suggest, is I'm going to clear the projection pit. So that we can get this out the way. Now, I did have a silly way that we can build this rocket. That's going to be faster than doing it with the pistons. Because all we need is something. Ooh, if I don't fall off the wall. All we need is something to pull the projection very slowly out of the floor here. So if we build a projector with a couple of batteries, a cockpit, and a couple of very big thrusters to take the weight of a rocket, would you say we build a flying projector and just pull it out of the floor? I didn't think that would take much to convince you to give that a go. Excellent. I'm glad you approve. Stream, if people want to start taking bets on how quickly I'm going to break this thing and it's not going to work, please feel free. That's probably a bit excessive. Oh, and of course that would be cocked, but okay. Right. So what we need is a block or two to give us a chassis. We then need le projector there. We will put nice industrial cockpit there, so we can see what the heck is going on. In fact, to aid with the seeing what the heck is going on, let's attach the cockpit like that. We'll then hang a battery off there, and a battery off there. Ooh, not a battery there, a battery there. And where the landing foot currently is, I'm going to put a connector. I think. Oh no, no, not a connector there. I'm going to need a sideways connector to recharge this thing, because I don't think it's going to work in one go. Don't think this is going to go in one go. So, let's start getting this welded up. Actually, I'm being silly. Oh, there we go. It's fine, because you know what it is now? On a welding pit. That's what I was going for, trying to get it on the welding pit. And I did get it on the welding pit, I just got it in the welding pit. Yes, right. No. I've just realised that I broke the landing gear off of this one, so bringing it over here to pick something up is not going to work. There we go, we have landing gear again. No, I was just saying about how batteries are really heavy. There's 3 batteries on this. So this is the idea of what we're going to be building, except not without the massive kaboom. And apparently my little mining vehicle has got a lot more upthrust than I remembered. You stay on the floor. Hmm? I didn't want to break your one. Didn't want to break your one. Right. Now I suppose I should fix the mess I made of the welding pit. That's the wrong size. Three by threes. So, Kyle, I've got to ask, how much am I going to be hearing about this for the next couple of days of Space Engineers? Hmm? I know what our chat's like. You might not want to be on the welding pit, Tom. Good. We've run out of bulletproof glass. Yes, we have. So let's order up a couple of hundred of it. There is no way we've run out of silicon. Okay, apparently. What? There's 53k of it in here. Oh, is our assembler full? No, assembler. Oh, that's refineries. Where's the assembler? No, assemblers aren't full. Oh, yes it is. It's got 52k of gravel in it. There's our gravel dump. Yeah, it's fixing that last pane of glass. That's, by the way, the tick speed of our assembler. That's how fast it goes. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Kyle. Glad you're going to make sure that the rest of the group are well aware that I've managed to make a mess and then tidy it up quickly. Right. Welders are now off. Right. And back to our regularly scheduled programming of how not to mess this up. What are you doing? Actually, yeah, absolutely. Grab some steel plate and let's start laying this out a bit more. So we'll put that on there to hold the cockpit on a bit better. So yeah, we're going to want a side or rear mounted projector to recharge this thing. Projector, connector. So that's next. And then what we'll need to do is make a stick of armor blocks coming out the top. Because we want to have big thrusters on this thing. The full size large Atmo thrusters. We're going to need at least 4 of them to start with. And they've got to be 5 blocks above whatever they're attached to so that they don't set light to it and damage it. So we need to go at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need them above this height, and I know they're at least 3 blocks tall. This is going to be one ugly duckling, by the way. Correct. Doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to work. We also are going to have... Yes, we are basically building a flying 3D print head. Whoa, come back. Yeah, I forgot it's not locked to the floor. Whoopsie. I done a whoops. It's fine. Funny enough, that is actually what we're going to do in a second, to flip it back over. But what I'm doing first is I'm attaching a maglev to it so that it actually sticks to the dang floor. Because I forgot I'd ground the maglev off earlier. This is why you build with it attached to the floor. Where batteries, 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 right. We're about to get a demonstration of just how heavy a battery is. There he goes, and it's now stuck to the floor. I left it on auto lock deliberately. Right, now we can build in safety. Relatively. Right. Can you step back please, Tom? You're blocking the clipper. Thank you. Dang hitboxes. Right, so that's going to be our up thrust. We then need to make sure we have thrust in all directions. Yes, otherwise it falls over. Yes. It may end up needing 2 thrust in all directions. And what it also needs is a gyro, but you are quite correct, the block you're standing on needs to be welded up before we add gyros to the top. Perfect. We will go with 1 gyro for now. So, as much as I hate to say it, Tom, let's get welding. I've got an inventory full of steel. What I will do is grab the 4 thrusters and the gyro and go and get all of the parts building. If you want to grab some steel plate and weld up the stalk, get everything into production, as much of this done as we can, and then go raid someone. It's getting to that time. As the raids actually seem to be working now, they haven't been for ages. Well, that sounded like a happy series of blocks pinging into existence. Just realised that the best place to get bottles is off the ripsaw. And I also forgot to put ripsaw on charge. Okay. Right, nearly there. See, annoyingly, this is the bit we could really do with the welders for. It's the large thrusters, but I do not fancy trying to get those into contact with the welding kit. Nor do I fancy trying to cobble together a welding vehicle. Because that was the other option, was to try and build a flying welding vehicle. I figure it's just easier to build a flying projector than a flying welder. Oh, apparently I did actually break something when that fell over. There's all sorts of bits and stuff on the floor under here. Okay, what else have I got in my inventory? All sorts of stuff. Right, okay. Okay. And up we go again. Actually, let's... Hmm? Is it just a massive amount of steel plate? Green means it's on a different grid. And the only large cargo containers we've got that aren't on the same grid is your big miner and the dune buggy. The welder out, not the grinder target. Come on. Okay, that's not right. We have an engine. We have an thruster. You say it's called Large Cargo Container 11. Large. Okay. Is this actually connected? Yeah, that's connected. I can't see a Large Cargo Container 11. Cargo. Do we have a Cargo Container 11? Ah, that's because I've got it filtered. That would be why. Large Cargo Container 11. Okay, where the heck are you? Showing on HUD. So in theory we should be seeing something that says Large Cargo Container 11 on the HUD somewhere. It might be on your thing, but even then we should still be able to pull from it. Oh, there's a 10. Found it! I'm standing on it. Behind it, there you are. I have no idea. I don't even know how it's in there. But it's in there. Which would explain why we can't connect anything out of it. And we're over time. Right. Ah, you're starting on the little engines, cool. Right then, stream. I think we are going to have to call it there. So we will continue this madness next week, hopefully. And hopefully this won't take too much longer to build, so we'll be onto our rocket rather smartly after that. I would hope. Yeah. Yeah, once we've got this going, because everything else is coming out of a welder pit, we should be alright. So, I am going to say thank you, stream. Thank you for joining us. I'm actually going to put myself into a cockpit so that I don't accidentally die whilst I'm saying goodnight to you guys. So, thank you everyone for coming along. I hope you've had fun. Thank you to the new people for the subs, and not the subs, the follows. That was greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated indeed. So, as they gave us a raid last week, we will go and raid Reaper of War. Once I make sure I know how to spell his username, because it's weirdly capitalised. So, please stick around for the raid and say hi. This is a return raid because they raided us last week. They are currently playing American Truck Simulator, so that's a different one. But there's not many other people on that I can see, unless you've got someone a little more appropriate on, Tom. You have a quick look before we kick off the raid. But yeah, as always, people, if you want to get hold of me, the best way is via the Discords. So if we just go like that. Right. I think we'll just return the favour on Reaper this week, as he raided us last week. So, and he is a Space Engineers player. So we'll drop him a raid and we'll perhaps catch Coop next time. But anyway, thank you for coming along, and hopefully this works. Hey, raid is started. Oh, cannot raid that channel. Well, that's annoying. They may well have, or it may only be friends. That's the other setting that I see quite a bit. So, okie dokie then. Did you want to set the raid off for Coop? As I haven't got him followed, I don't know how to spell his username. You should have the power. That's alright, go for it. Jump in the fridge. Sensible. And I will actually do a save once you're in the fridge. Excellent, right, let's give this a try. Tom is having a moment, chat, bear with us. You can't? Is it not letting you? Okay. Okay, we're going to go see what Dead by Daylight looks like. Go for it. Yep. Yep. Right, I'd never have remembered this one, chat. You'll see when we go over there. Go for it. Yeah. We've even got underscores in this one. Go for it. Capital K, capital H. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'd never have got that one. Yay, that one's working. Ah, there's a random Orion in chat as well. So that's how Tom can talk to everybody. Alright, the raid is starting hopefully, so fingers crossed that'll kick off soon. I will be back on Wednesday for some more Space Engineers creative stuff, continuing building my RPG map tiles, so feel free to join me on Wednesday for that at 8 BST, and then myself and Tom will be back to finish this mess at 8:30 next Sunday. So feel free to join us there. In the meantime, feel free to catch me on my Discord, catch up with the VODs on my YouTube, which is Tenable Target, and also let's just give a quick... Let's see if I've got enough time for this. Hey, look at that. I can type fast enough. Go and check out these other awesome people. So, Lady Artemis, Dovahkiin and Karsa. All worthwhile people checking out. And now we wait to go and visit Coop. And if I turn off the HUD, the base is looking kinda cool at night. I've gotta say. And I have stopped.